Good morning to all. We will continue the topic that is in last class we talk about the floating point number representation, and today we will shift little bit different from the earlier, but that is also relevant to the number representation in computer system. So, something we will talk about memory location and addressing mode in today's class. Okay. So, in earlier also I told ki computer process information or bits in a group. Okay, that group is something called the word, and then length of the word is called the length of the group is called the word length, that is we said. Okay. So, there are two terms, one is called byte addressable and something called word addressable. As we know that memory consists of million of storage cell, right, and each of which can store a bit of information, either it is 0 or 1. Now, say suppose if I have a group of information, let us say 0 1 0 1 1 1 1 and so on. Okay. Similarly, we have again a group of information 2 3 4 5 6 7, let us say again you have so on. So, to access this group of information group of bits, we need to distinguish from this group of bit from the other group of bits. In other way around, so to access a group of bits, we should have an address or distinct name for the group. So, that is the requirement for having the address for each group. Okay. And then as you know that if address space is, let us say if there are at k address line, then we will have the total address space will be 2 to the power k, okay, 2 to the power k locations. Okay. Now, we will talk about, so that means what we realize ki we should have the address, we should have the locations to we should have the address to access a byte or a group of bits. Then a group of bits is, it has some name, so it is something called byte, word and other thing. So, 1 byte, as you know, 1 byte is 8 bits, 1 word generally it is multiple of bytes. So, generally it is 16 to 64 bits. Okay, these are the basic thing we know. Now, based on that there is something called byte addressable. Byte addressable means that is as we said that each group should have an address. So, in case of the byte addressable, that length of the group is 8 bits, that means 1 byte. So, each byte should have an address. Okay. So, then we can access the each byte. So, in that case we will say is the byte addressable. Okay. So, that means say let us say we have 1 byte information, let us say 0 1 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay. So, this is 1 byte. So, we should have address, let us say this address is 0, then we have another byte, okay. We have another byte. So, this address is let us say 1, we have another byte, okay. So, this address is 2, we have another byte, this address of 3. So, if each byte has address, then that type of organization of memory is called the byte addressable. Okay. Now, let us say word length is 4 bytes. Then word addressable means, so now term is word addressable. Okay. So, word addressable means that first byte will be in the location 0. So, there are 4 bytes, second word will be in location 4, third word will be in location 8 and so on. Okay. So, because this is 1 byte, this is 2 byte, this is 3 byte and this is the 4th byte. So, the next word will be in the 4th, 8 and so on. Okay. So, this word addressable term we will discuss later. Okay. So, this is if it is byte addressable. So, each byte you can locate. So, this address will be 0, this address will be 1, this address will be 2, this address will be 3. Okay. So, then second word says if it is the if it is the word length is 4 byte. So, second word will be located from 4 and then so let us say 5, 6 and 7. So, term word addressable is like you can only locate the each word, that means first word is 0, second word also will contain in a location which can hold the 4 bytes. Okay. So, now knowing this one, now we will know little more on how the bytes in a words are arranged. So, now we can say is how bytes in a word how bytes in a words are organized. Let us say I said ki 4 byte, right. Okay. This is word, right. So, 4 byte means 32 bits. So, this is 32 bits. Now, this is say byte 1, byte 2, byte 3, byte this is 0, this is 1, this is 2 and 3. Okay. As I said that each byte should have an address, each group of bits should have an address. So, this one will have some address, this one also will have some address, this one also will have address and so on. So, let us say this byte is address is 0, this byte address is 1, this is 2, this is 3. So, now within a word you can store this byte, you can store the byte 0 in the place of third location. Okay. Similarly, you can place the byte 3 in the location of 0. So, based on that there are two representation. So, one is called big endian So, let us say I have a number, let us say 3215. Okay. So, we assume that each digit decimal we converted into corresponding binary in 8 bit. So, therefore, these 3 will be 1 1 and then 3 4 5 6. So, this is 1 byte. Similarly, 2 I represented and each we converted into 8 bits. Similarly, on 0 0 0 then it will be 1 and then this one and so on. Now, I want to represent this 3215. Okay. This is one simple example, but in reality something different, but after that this one after that I will discuss. So, let us say this scenario we converted them into binary, but each digit converted into 8 bit binary, similarly 1 and similarly 1 0 1 and so on. Now, what you can do, this is byte first byte, okay, byte 0, this is second byte, this is third byte and this is fourth byte. So, let us say byte first byte, second byte, third byte and this is fourth byte. Now, how do you represent this byte into the different location? Okay. Let us say if I like that. So, I know the location. So, this is the location 0, this is the location 1, this is the location 2, this is the location 3. So, each location will have 1 byte. Now, what I can do it, this byte, that is this byte came from one digit, that is the most significant digit of the number. I can store this byte in this location. So, I should write 0 0 0 and then 1 1. Similarly, what we can do it, this is we can write 1 0. Similarly, here we write here 1 0 1. That means, in this representation what we are doing, more significant here, more significant bytes in a word is placed or placed in lower byte location. Now, if this is something called big endian, that is most significant will appear in the lowest byte and then more significant will appear the lower byte position. Okay. So, this is something called the big endian. There is another is called the little endian. This is just opposite of this one. What we will do it? This is lower byte, right, least significant bit. So, least significant bit will appear into lower byte. So, here we can write it lesser significant byte will appear in lower byte position. Okay. So, then what we learned it, one is big endian, another is little endian. Okay. Now, in reality what happens, suppose you are asked to represent a number. Okay. So, number should be within say 32 bit, if it is 32 bit, so it should be within 32 bits. So, let us say I represent a number, let us say what will happen, yeah. So, let us say I want to represent a number 32, 31. So, then what will be the corresponding value? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right. So, now I want to represent this number into big endian, big endian. How do you do it? So, 31 you represent into 32 bits. Okay. So, therefore, so 32 bits, this is. So, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, only 5 bits. So, therefore, 0, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then rest is 0, positive number, let us say. Okay. So, which one is the most significant bit? So, this is the most significant byte. Then next is this one, next is this one, and least LS bit is this one. So, now if you use the bigger endian, now your memory location, let us say is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. Okay. So, then this should be 0, 0, 8, 0, this will be 0, 0, 8, 0, this will be 8, 0, and here also you will have. Okay. Now, if you represent in little endian, so representation will be here. So, this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. So, this part will appear here. Okay. This will be 0, this will be 0, this will be 0. So, done. Okay. Now, we will talk something on addressing mode. So, what is addressing mode? Addressing mode is something like, see, generally, so for any problem or programming we write in high level language, and then compiler translate that language into corresponding machine level language, that is assembly level language. And while writing the program, we use various local variable, okay, local variable, global variable, and then pointer, and those are the variable, and we use also constant and so on. So, basically these variable is used, these variables are used in the program, and then we do some operation. Okay. So, one example, let us say I want to perform some operation, let us say, so topic is addressing mode. Let us say we want to perform the operation is addition. So, what we can do, C is a variable, let us say, yeah, integer C, or so let us say A, B, and so on. So, then what do we do? C equal to, we can write A plus B. So, this is one operation addition. Sometime what we can do is C equal to A, and then we can directly we can write A plus 8. This is also operation. Okay. Sometime we use pointer also. What we can write, C equal to A star plus B. So, what essentially what you are doing, these are the, as I said, these are the operand, and this is something called operation, and we say the opcode, operation code. Okay. So, these are the operation, these operation we want to, operation is nothing but here operation is addition, right. And operands are A and B. So, essentially what we are doing, we are providing the value of the operand in different way. Here one operand is directly we are feeding this 8 you should add. Okay. But here as we are using pointer for that, and here you are using the some direct value of A and B are two memory locations, and that those two value should be added. So, that is different way we can provide the value of the operand in an instruction. So, that is the different ways. So, these ways are called the addressing modes. Okay. So, when we write the program in high level language, so essentially it will convert to the corresponding assembly language, and then assembly language also should be compatible with the instruction set of the machine. So, then instruction set should support different addressing mode to facilitate the programmer to write in different ways, like here directly we are adding, here we are providing one variable, another is we are using pointer. So, there are different way by which the value of the operand can be specified in an instruction. So, these are called the addressing mode, that the ways of providing the variable value of the operands are called the addressing mode. So, now we will talk about the addressing mode and different addressing. Okay. So, we will talk about addressing mode. Okay. So, as I said there are different way. So, I may write by the way the book is Amateur. Okay. So, you can write here there are different ways, okay, by which the values or value of the operands, values of the operands, value of the operands are specified in an instruction. So, these are called there are three major addressing mode and then there are variant of those. So, one is something called immediate, addressing, okay. So, immediate addressing means one of the operand is specified inside the instruction. So, values directly values is given. So, in earlier example we wrote ki c equal to a plus 8. So, that means this value one of the operand value is directly specified. This is something called absolute addressing mode or immediate addressing mode. So, values of one operand is directly given. Okay. So, if I say instruction wise, let us say move some value, let us say 200 to a register R1. So, 200 might be a memory location, but we want ki 200 values. So, to distinguish from the memory location, we put it hash, so that it will indicate the 200 values, not the memory location 200. So, this is example of immediate addressing mode. Sometimes we write MVI to indicate. So, it is nothing but the immediate addressing mode. Let us say what we can do it. So, 200 to R1. Okay. So, we can write also add A8. So, whatever the value in added with 8 and then stored into A. So, this is example of the immediate addressing mode. So, now is and then immediate addressing mode also can be a register mode. So, one can be register mode. Okay. So, register mode is nothing but one of the operand is stored in a register is called the registered mode. Now, we are talking about immediate we said, then another is called direct addressing mode. Okay. Direct addressing mode means actually like I say ki C equal to A plus B. So, actual operand is in the location of A and B. So, let us say you have a memory here, A is nothing but a memory location, B is nothing but the memory location, you want to add 7 and 8. Earlier case directly this operand was given directly in one of the two operands values. Okay. So, here it is given in the memory location. So, this is something called direct mode operation. Okay. So, another example is here, we got it. So, here in earlier example you can say move A B, content of B is moving to A or content of A is moving to B. So, B depends on the which convention you are using. So, this is source and destination, then content of A. So, this is example of typical example of you are assigning the value of A to B. So, here also one of the operand can be in the register. Okay. So, we can write it, say let us say add R1 plus R1 R2, that is both the are in register contain the value. So, if you go directly to the register and you get it added. Okay. So, this is something called direct addressing mode. Now, important thing is next, that is called indirect. Indirect addressing mode is something we can write it here in if register mode add R1 R0. What is that? So, here also we can write we did it here add R1 R2. That means that operand is in R1, you add R1 whatever there in the register R1, say R1 is having value 7 and R2 is having value 8 and you store the result into R2. So, 15 will be stored here and then because it is register. So, this is something called register direct. Now, next example is indirect. Why it is indirect? So, actually one of the operand is R1. Okay. So, R1 is something like that, within bracket indicates that value of R1 directly will not be used in the instruction, rather R1 contain a memory location and then whatever is there in that memory location that should be added with R0. Let us say R1 contain a memory location address is 2000 and in the memory location 2000 okay, in the memory location 2000 I have value let us say 7. Then to access this one what it will go to the first it will go to R1, it will fetch the address that is 2000. Now, it will go to the location 2000 okay, and then it will get the value 7 and then 7 will be added with R0. Let us say R0 is having some value 8 and then it will store into the value of say R2, right. Say let us say I write R2, add R1 within bracket and then R2. So, here also R2 will contain the value 15. So, this is something called indirect. Why? As you see that operands are not just it is not getting direct the value of the operand into the register R1, rather register is storing a memory location and that memory location hold the actual value of the operand. So, this is something called register mode indirect. It may happen something like that add. Okay. So, you are adding W and B. What is that W and B? W is a memory location, it can be 2000 or anything, and it can hold an address B and B is holding this value. So, W will go here and B will point here. So, it is 8 and then sorry not B. So, let us say this is we put A is 7, okay, and then 7 will be added with content B and stored in the location B. So, it is like example I said it A equal to A star B. Okay. So, this is example of indirect mode. Okay. So, we have another indexing mode is something called index mode. Addressing mode is called index mode, that is often we use when we will access the element in the array. So, we know the base address. Now, we want to add the value with A0 sorry A2 with A3. So, whatever the base address and then we add base address with say location 2 and then 3, then we will get the actual value. So, operand will get it. So, here in index mode that effective address of the operand is generated by adding a constant value to the content of a register. So, here effective address of the operand is generated by adding a constant. That constant is nothing but it is stored in a register, a constant value to the content of the register. It has also different variation. So, example is X R1 is a register. So, this constant you add it here with the content of R1. R1 again within bracket means R1 is holding a memory location and with that you add it. Suppose you want to access the arrays, so let us say 20th location. So, what do you do it 20 into R1, that is all. So, you add 22 to R1 and you store into location R2. So, this is one instruction. What do you do? So, whatever the content of R1, R1 basically holding the base address. So, you add base address with 20, you will get this location here. So, this is something called index mode. So, one more is called relative mode. Relative mode means whatever the value with respect to a fixed register. Here this register is not fixed, we have to specify the register R1. Okay. So, in relative mode is actually used with respect to the program counter value. Okay. So, one example I can give you. So, this is nothing but let us say you add x with whatever the value of the program counter. Okay. So, let us say we assembly language we write branch greater than equal to 0, then you go to the label loop. Okay. Say loop is somewhere here, say let us say INC R1, so you wrote it here. So, whenever it is encountered this one branch greater than equal to 0, this value whatever the value is there, then you jump to the location loop. So, where it will go? It is the relative mode. Why relative mode? What about the values here? Let us say here this value is 700, okay, and this value is let us say 710. So, the difference is here 10. Okay. As program counter hold the next instruction to be executed. So, when PC value will have the value, PC will have value 7, let us say next is 11, but it is pointing you should go to the loop 700. So, what it will do it? So, it will minus 11 and whatever the value of program counter. So, program counter is holding 711 and then relative value will be minus 11. So, you just add PC value with minus 11. So, you will get the 700. So, this is something called a relative mode. Okay. So, we will end with another two mode is called auto increment okay. Auto increment mode is something like that. R1 is a register, you put this one. What happened here? So, let us say because in bracket indicate that R1 holding a memory location R1, R1 is having a memory location let us say 7000. Now, what you do it? You add R1 R2. What is it means? Whatever there in the 7000 in the memory location 7000, let us say it is 8, you add with the content of R2. So, now R2 is having R2 is another register, it is holding let us say 7. So, after this instruction what will happen? Value of R2 will be 15, this will be 15 not no longer 7, and there is another change with R1. R1 will be automatically it will be incremented by the word length. So, word length is 4 byte. So, it will now it will point to the 704. Now, what happened? Now, again if you add this one, it will add whatever the value is there in the 700 location. So, let us say you have again 10. So, that will be added now. Okay. So, now it will be 10, 15. So, this will be 25 and this value this will change to 7008. So, that is the task of the auto increment. Okay. It will be address will be that pointing wherever the that R1 whatever the value of R1 it will be incremented by not 1 incremented by 1 word, that means by 4 if the word length is 4 byte. Similarly, there is called auto decrement. So, it will decrement the value whatever the value are there in 700. So, it will decrement it by 4 to distinguish from earlier. So, it is written that add R1 minus R2. So, what is the meaning of this one? R1 will now contain 6996 because it is value is decremented by 4. Okay. So, these are the something called addressing mode. This will be used while writing the program in assembly language. So, that also we will be covering. So, we will write some simple program loop and other thing. In next class what we will do it, we will pause this one here. Now, we will move to the something called how the circuit in ALU are designed. Therefore, in the initial diagram we had the input output and then processor, within the processor we have control unit and we have the ALU, right. Now, we will go in more detail about how circuits in ALU are designed. ALU means what? Arithmetic logic unit, arithmetic logic unit, okay. ALU, arithmetic and logic unit. So, what are the circuits are there, how addition is performed, how can you make the addition much faster, how the multiplication is done, how the division is done, those we will be covering in the next class. Okay. With that note, I stop today's class.